such a pain in the ass.
I'm the pain in the ass.
Yeah. Trying to get some lighting in here for fuck's
Should have
sake.
started this an hour ago.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Allie. She got my garage door opener, so we'll take it. Welcome to the Wisties episode 39. It's so bad I don't remember. Boston is up 2-0, and I'm
Yeah, what are you
supporting my
wearing?
boy.
Also, peeped the I'm on
Holiday.
one.
Holiday. Yeah, one fucking thing, you big ass head. So doesn't the green accent look good with the black? That's what I was talking about with like wearing the tights and stuff. They should be wearing green underneath the black. It looks fucking good, man. I'm not a big jersey guy. I don't really wear them. I have a lot, but I don't wear them.
No, I
But
don't really either.
whatever. All right. Episode 39. Talking basically NBA only. What are your thoughts so far on the finals?
I have gone all over the place.
Yeah, you're
Game
probably
one
yeah.
was awesome until they blew it and it came to eight and I was cussing up a storm and I'm like, what the fuck's happening? And then game two, well, and then they blew them out, right?
Yeah.
Porzingis was on one. I didn't expect that. Like coming back, did not expect it.
Yeah.
Tatum looked so scared and so like, I don't know how to play
I don't
basketball anymore,
I don't know what's
which
going on with him.
we'll get that later, but I don't either.
Yeah.
And the Mavericks didn't impress me. Game two happens. We're playing like shit. Porzingis is playing well, but not like last game, obviously.
You can expect that.
Brown's okay. Tatum still can't score. I will give him credit. He's doing other things, rebounding, assisting, and playing defense, but he still can't shoot at
Yeah.
all.
That's an
Horrible.
expensive decoy.
It is. That's a role player role.
Yeah.
And we've made like six threes, which we're like normally hitting 20 in a game, and we won. So after that, I was kind of like,
If we can
I
win
think
like
we're gonna
this,
sweep them.
right,
I know. I'm
right.
like,
You
I'm
would
waiting for
think.
a Tatum always puts up like a 30, 40 point game.
Hmm.
One. Superstar should do
He'll
that
do
on
it
the
next
regular.
game and they'll lose.
I'm waiting for that, right?
Yeah.
So I watched the Kyrie's choking too. He's not playing well either though.
Right.
And to me, it's just two teams. Two Dallas is the rest. I'll call them besides Kyrie aren't good, and I think we kind of knew that coming in.
I think PJ Washington is playing pretty well though.
But he's not scoring. He's not shooting. We're cutting out
Not
the
shooting.
threes.
None of them are shooting. So I saw a thing today. Luca's the only one who's made more than
Multiple
one
threes.
three, which
Yeah,
is
that's
crazy in
nuts.
2 games.
Yeah,
That's
and
wild.
so they're not shooting well, and I think our defense is part of it, but they're also just not great shooters. Like Derrick Jones Jr., like that's who we're gonna rely on right now.
Right.
Kyrie's not coming up to snuff. So then it's literally Luca. And
Who's just
against
doing everything he can
correct, but
offensively.
I would okay, that's what I want to say. Just hitting the Maverick side, I think Kid's a loser for like Brown's their best player. Like you have to go mental game right now just to
Yeah, that's
like
all you
you
can
feel
do.
like yeah, you're desperate then. Like
Yeah.
bug off. Luca's first game got nobody involved and just got his. It was a classic like, oh, do you let
ISO
Shaq go
ball.
off or do
Yeah.
you let the others? Oh, let's let
I
Shaq get
hate I
50.
hate Luca's game so much because it's just ISO
It's
ball.
so
And
hard to
whenever he
watch.
misses on his end,
It's a it's a
watch him
complaint.
run back. He just
So
jogs back.
that's my
Or
point. I'm
something,
watching.
if they turn the ball over, if they get a quick rebound, he jogs. He's basically saying, all right, they're gonna score. I just want the ball back. You're just giving up
I'm
on that defensive possession,
I'm
which is so
clearly
crazy to me.
one-sided as a Celtics fan,
Right.
but I get a clip on my Instagram and it's Nick Wright and he's like Luka's clearly the best player in the series right now and I would rate his game 2 as an A minus. And I'm like, do we play both sides of the basketball? Because
Right.
I will recognize the dude is unbelievable at scoring. I don't like
Right.
watching it. It's not fluid to me and it's like
Yeah,
entertaining
it's
in
like
that sense.
the joke. It's the same. It's the
But the
European
joke, the
style of
difference
basketball.
to me with the Joker, and this is why I would take the Joker on offense over Luca. Luca's a much better shooter, but the ball pops with the Joker. He catches it, it's moving somewhere else, or it's moving back to him.
Yeah.
Luca just if he
Luca
gets
is a
doubled
better
or he
passer.
chucks.
He's a better passer than I thought because I'm actually watching him now. I just see highlights.
Yep.
But I'm like, damn, that was a good pass. Damn,
No,
that was
he
a good
can
pass.
pass, but it's
But
all
I still
singular.
think Joker is
Joker's
a
got he
center
flows the offense.
shouldn't be able to
Yes.
pass like that.
But
Maybe
Luca,
that's why it looks better, but I don't know.
I watched a clip online today. It was like 20, 30 maybe possessions of just the most, like what you're saying, putrid defense I've ever seen in my life. The guy
Hmm.
just, like you said, gives up, on the way back. There's one clip, he's just like pointing to nobody, and he's in the corner with nobody on defense.
Yeah, what
I
are
was
you
like, who are
doing?
you guarding? And then blow by Jason Tatum, blow by Jalen Brown, blow by
Yeah,
Drew Holiday, blow by.
I
He just
forgot who
gets
it
blown
was.
by everybody.
Yeah, they were
It's
like
so bad.
Jason got to the rim and got fouled or something, and then they're like showing the replay, and they're like, so Tatum he gets by Luca. I'm like, what do you mean gets by Luca? I could get by Luca if he plays
Yeah,
defense like that. I mean, for
and
fuck's
I'm not.
sake, it's like
It's
that's it's
horrible.
an automatic getting to the rim when he's
Yeah,
guarding you. Like
you're
he
pretty much playing
doesn't do
four on
anything.
five. He's
Yeah, on
useless. And
defense.
I
And
understand
that
you're gonna
is
get blown by,
but
right? But
defense,
30 times.
right. And he's not as athletic, so maybe that's why he doesn't even try.
Yeah,
He
it's
just saves
effort,
his
but you
effort
have to
for
have
offense. But
something.
defense, we like it's so frustrating to me because it is just effort. Like it
I'll say
just you
this.
just have to be on somebody. Just
I
be
think
as
if you
close as you can.
to be a
There's a
competent
lot of
defender,
there's a
you
lot
have
of
to be effort. To just to
right.
be competent, it's all effort.
Right.
If you want to get a Drew Holiday level, that's where the skill
I
comes
saw a
in, where
video of
the
him
anticipation. Yeah, the in the off
practicing
season,
defense. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm like,
right? The
fuck me.
anticipation, the film study, the quick
Yeah.
lateral movements, like that's the
Tendencies,
skill.
understanding tendencies and
Correct.
understanding like group defense too. Like, okay, if this happens, I have to do this, or I have to help
Yes.
guard this guy, or I have to
Weak side, strong
tell
side,
my teammate
bail.
no, stay here
Yeah.
or switch or
So like
whatever.
all of that puts you to an elite level, but just being competent is clearly effort to me, and he is not.
Yeah,
So to call his game an A minus, I
is
thought was just
wild.
blasphemy. I'm like, this is so bad. Do we play both sides, right?
Yeah,
Everyone, you always want to count LeBron and Jordan for being the greatest, and something that's always brought up is, well, they're amazing defenders too.
right.
It's like,
And
yeah, because
Jordan's
we
won defensive
defensive
player of
player
the
of the
year.
year, and
LeBron
so
should
is
have,
correct. So
you
it's
know.
like we're just not going to count that. And I understand the
That's
Joker
the
is not
only
that great of a
it's
defender.
it's sad to say that's the only reason why I think Giannis is still top 3 in the league because he
Correct, because
does
he
play
tries.
defense at an elite level.
I don't know about that. I would
He's
disagree with
been
that
play
comment.
defensive player of the year and he's been nominated for it like 3 times.
So
Joker's
is
never been nominated.
Rudy Gobert won this year? How's that?
That's bullshit though.
It's the same thing. They play the defense the same way. Giannis's defense on the wing is useless. He's so slow and he can't move side to side.
He's
He
not slow.
Mason, watch him. The Celtics.
He's more athletic than fucking Gobert.
Yeah, but he gets beat off the ball all the time because he
But then
has no lateral quickness. He
he has
recovers
the
with his length,
recovery. Yeah.
but if you put him in space, this is why the Celtics cook him every time we play him because he can't guard
Well, yeah, he
wings in
can't guard
space.
1 through 5. He can guard 3 through 5, more like
That to
four through
me,
4 and 5.
yeah, 4 and 5, and that's like doesn't exist in the league anymore. So that's
Yeah,
why I
but
don't think
Drew
he's an
can't
elite.
guard fucking 4 and 5.
I don't think he's an elite defender, Giannis.
Right.
I just don't think he is. He's a
It's
good
all about
defender.
size and like you can only do so much with what you have, but
Correct. I think you need
regardless.
to like the, but that's the point. I think Joker's a better defender than Doncic, and Joker's not even that great a defender.
No, he's just big
It's
and
just
he's tall. So it's like you automatically
yeah.
have a little bit there just based on your
And
size.
Lucas should be bodying people more and like using his weight against people. He's got length
He
for his
backs
size.
people down on
I'm
offense,
talking defensively though. He
but
should be
defensively he
running
doesn't
into
use it.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah, he should be
absorb
using
some of
that.
their momentum
Correct.
and
And if
yeah,
he's so fucking smart, he should be anticipate like if you know, like it's like watching old men in the Y, right? I know I'm an old man and you're the young guy and we're playing basketball. I know you're gonna beat me off the dribble. So I'm gonna just shoot to get pick your pocket. I'm either gonna pick you and we're going the other way or you're dunking on the other side, right?
right.
You're just gonna take gambles, right? Because you're like,
Yeah.
it is what it is at
And
this
it's
point.
better
I
than
can't stay.
doing what he's doing now.
Right? So it's either 100% you're going to get scored on or 70-30. Okay, well, I'll take the 30 then. It just, I don't get his side.
Yeah.
Celtics side, it it just reminds me that some people aren't it. Tatum is just not it. And I
Which
think
is
it's so
weird because like in any other like not in the finals and even I mean he kind of disappeared in a couple of games this playoffs, but
he yeah,
it's like
in the start he's
every other
slow.
time he's regular season you're like, fuck, is this the next guy? Is this the next guy?
Well,
And
he had a
then
50-point game 7 last year against the Sixers. He had game 6 against the Bucks, 46. Like he
yeah.
has moments where you're like, fuck. But then the whole stat thing that's going around right now is he has the worst field goal percentage in the
Hmm.
NBA Finals
Yeah,
history.
I sent that to you.
It's a fair stat. It
But he's only
is.
played 6 games or seven
Yeah,
games
like
or
let's
whatever.
calm down. Also, Patrick Ewing slightly below him at a center that has a 35% is atrocious.
Right, you should be
Also,
dunking every
you
time.
should
How are
be,
you
yeah, you should
missing
be at
30,
80. I have
70% of your dunks? Yeah.
That's Hakeem Olajuwon for you. That's what
Yeah.
that is. But like, so it's all, but at the same time too, I'm not like people are dragging him like, oh, he took more shots than Luca last game, and it's like, well, you want him to just stop shooting? Like
Right.
Kobe, it's the Kobe, and I know he's a fake Kobe. Like he wants to be like that, but he's not. But
Right.
it's shooters shoot. I'm not going to get out of this hole by not shooting. I think he
Yeah.
needs to attack more and attack with more control. He either goes in looking for a call or he goes in too sped up. And you see you'll watch him tomorrow. He'll go to the rim and the ball will bounce off like when you were a fifth grader on a fast break and you had to chuck the ball up
Yeah.
for a
You
layup.
understand
It just goes
physics.
boom. Yeah, that's what he
Yeah.
looks like. Or he takes these contested one-on-one, like, oh, I got the matchup. And he sits there and then he pulls and like he has to play more within the offense. And I think Joe Mazzulla needs to help get him some more easy buckets.
Yeah. Get him in rhythm and
Get him
just
in rhythm.
start
And
the swing of
uh,
things.
correct. And I appreciate what he's doing, passing the ball and rebounding, like it's helping in other ways. But he also needs to take a note out of who I think is the MVP right now in Drew Holiday. Just do the little like I watched Drew last game score so many Mason buckets, I call them. Just I don't know, 15 points, like 12
Yeah.
points.
Like
So many like
a lazy
I
inbound pass steals it.
yep, just
There it
picks
is.
it,
Boom,
go
boom.
or like, oh, no, like Luca's over there. I don't he's supposed to be
He just
guarding
cuts
me.
to the
I'm just
rim
gonna
wide open.
cut
Boom.
down here, boom,
Yeah.
here. Or Tatum's like, "Ah," and then he knows he's gonna
He
miss. So he
just
sits there,
follows right
offensive
behind him.
rebound,
Yep.
boom, right? It's just those
That's
little
true.
it's
That
those
is literally
Mason
what I would do.
buckets. And he understand and then he hit, and I'll give you credit too. You can hit an occasional three, right? Drew hits the occasional spot up.
Yep.
He hits one or two, and you're like, all right. And he's
Yeah, there's 20
adapted his
points.
game.
Boom. Yeah.
Correct. And there it is. And then
He's a
he's
beast.
kicking ass on defense. And I think Jalen Brown's helping too. But we just look so much better than them.
Yeah, you're more of a complete team. They have two guys. They are
And
very
one's
top
not showing
heavy,
up.
and one's not showing up. He
So
hasn't
this is
won against the Celtics since in like 12 times, right?
till he's since he's stomped. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
Karma's
that's
a
why I'm
bitch.
like, okay, they're they play tomorrow, right? No, they play
Yep.
Wednesday. Yep. So today's Tuesday. So they play the 11th or no, the 12th, sorry. They played the 12th and the Mavs are at home, so you got to think like, okay, this is a great chance to just win a game, start switching the momentum, get your
Series
role
doesn't start.
players, get
Yeah,
your
until the
role
road.
players back in, to the swing of things. Hopefully, 2 games at home, which I argue all the time, role players play better. That'll get them going if they can find a way to win both. go back to Boston. Now you kind of have some momentum that now it's a
So
brand new series.
that's what I'm worried about. So I initially was like, I think this is a gentleman's
It's
sweep.
so easy to
We're gonna
look at
kill them.
the first two like this, especially the first game when they were just blowing them out. And then the second game was a little closer, but they still ended up winning. That's what,
Correct.
if I'm rooting for the Celtics and for your sake, that's what makes me scared. They
But
had a
so
huge lead and almost blew it.
in the first one,
They in the first game. Second game, they were losing for a while, and then they still only won by like 7. And
correct, but they
it's
played
not that
like shit
right, but so did the Mavs. You could argue the Mavs did too. They had one guy basically scoring. And do you really
Correct.
think that they're all gonna miss every three? Like Kyrie is 0 for 8 right now from behind the
Yeah, I
arc.
expect Kyrie to play
You know,
better, but
like
I also
I just
expect
don't
Tatum
see how
to.
that happens. Maybe it's too little too late. Like that's the only reason why I think you guys will can still win this is it's just going to be too little too late. Like they'll start to hit their stride, but maybe it's like not till the third quarter of this next game. And then Boston still finds a way to win. So then it's 3-0, and then they maybe steal one in game 4,
3-0
and then
is
they go
over.
back. Then they go
Yeah.
back to Boston and you guys finish it off. It's a
3-0's
gentleman's sweep.
done. If they win Wednesday, it's over. But
Right.
what scares me,
It'll
I
be
was
too, it
really,
might, you're getting to the point of it's too little too late. But I mean,
yes.
there was the stat at the end of the first. I hate when they do this because when the Bucks were there, and I'm like, I hate seeing these stats. 70% of teams
After
who
game
win
one.
game one win the
Yeah.
series. I'm like, fuck me. And then we lose game two. You're down 0-2. You're like, well, shit. At least we're going home, you know? But it's like, I hate seeing those stats because you're just like working
Yeah,
right
but
against it, but it doesn't matter
yeah, it doesn't. And the
because
thing
we
that
ended up
scares
winning. So it's
me
like, you can do it.
is Porzingis's injury. So
Yeah,
he
so that's something we
has,
should talk about because I read it and I'm like, I'm a
I was
medical
gonna,
professional. I have no fucking clue what that is.
he
I had to
has, and
look
I'm gonna
that
read it
up.
verbatim.
Yeah.
Kristaps Porzingis is day to day after suffering a rare torn medial ret, reticulum reticulum, allowing dislocation of the posterior tibialis tendon. I asked Paige, I said, what the fuck does that even mean? And she said, it's the tendon on the
It's like
side of the
on
patella.
yeah, it's like on your by your knee basically. It's just a something on the I don't know if yeah, it's either the front or the
Does that
back of the knee.
help
So it's front
prevent
of it's the
like
patella.
ACL injuries, or what does that do?
So it's the okay. No offense to the man upstairs, but the knee is like the worst engineered joint ever. And evolutionists will argue because we were on all fours, so it didn't need to be such a sturdy one. If you had four, if you were walking on all fours, anyways. So since we've evolved, which believe what you want, um, the knee is becoming like that's why knee injuries are so big because all of your weight is just on those two really weak joints. So there's so many tendons, so many ligaments in there. It's just and all the force going back and forth, especially with these giants
So that
in
I
the
was gonna
NBA.
say
Like
he's so
everything,
big
all
that
the
doesn't help at
forces are
all.
high, are higher. All the um lever arm distance for torques, like all their bones and muscles are bigger and longer.
Because
So it's like you have way more torque, way more force. It's
when he
just
did it,
a
he
recipe
was
for
stretched
disaster.
out and he kind of like bent it weird.
Yeah.
So you
So
could
I mean,
kind of
it's
tell.
not good.
It
It's
sounds
they said
like
it's serious.
they said it's serious. Well, Joe Mazzulla said it's serious, and then they asked him, he's like, "You're gonna have to kill me not to play." It sounds like, from my understanding, and I may be way wrong, he might miss like the serious talk is like he's done for the like
The game, yeah,
series.
or the finals.
But then
Maybe
I'm
he
also
misses a
reading
game,
maybe a couple games, maybe a game. I'm also reading like it's a lot of pain tolerance
but he can still play.
and he could still play, but he's definitely not going to be as mobile and like as useful. So people are like,
Yeah.
well, why would you want to put him out there? I'm like, case in point, Luke Cornett. Like that motherfucker is useless on the court. I would rather Kristaps if he can still stand at the 3-point line
And
and
shoot a
chuck up a
spot up
couple.
shot, yeah.
Yeah, like and
But then he's going to
he's
be a
going to be
liability on defense.
correct, but Cornett is a liability in general in
I don't even know
life.
who
The
that
guys
is. Is
you
that your
ex
that's your
that's the
backup?
backup after Horford, and it's just becomes a problem. People
Okay.
don't understand. Of course, Kristaps' defense in this series has been huge. They've challenged him at the rim like 12 times,
And
and
he's just
Dad was
so
like,
fucking long.
he's like, why do they keep going right at him? Like jump stop, fade away, pump fake. They just and he just
Yeah.
I'm just longer than you. Like you
Mm-hmm.
can't out athletic me because I'm longer than you. So he's been a
Yeah.
big deal. So I'm afraid like that not having those key timely block, like we've had a lot of like he blocks it in transition. We're in transition now. Like
Mm-hmm.
the Derek White block, like those swing momentum, and I could see one of those not happening or Al doesn't get something, and now Dallas just picks up steam a little, and Dallas
Yeah.
wins a game, and Dallas wins another. Like it just slowly, if we continue to
It's
play like
it's
dog shit.
tough. Yeah. I mean the NBA finals are cool because it's different, right? Every other it's kind of like hockey too. Like there's 7 game series, baseball too, but baseball is just such a different sport. It's not um it's almost a different game every more of a different game every time because you have like different pitching matchups and different like styles of pitching and all that shit. But for basketball, there there's like momentum, but it's spread out over such a long time. They have so much time in between games. They have two days at least.
Yeah,
Even if
to
you're like
adjust
when you're
and
not
look at
traveling
things.
still, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, and now we're just zeroed in on one team. We're just watching like a shit ton of film. Like this is what this guy does. We already knew tendencies, but now we're just seeing them. We got 2 games of film already
Yeah.
on them,
At
and
this point, everyone knows everyone's
right, it's just like
go-tos.
you
It's
you have
just
to
who
find a
can
way
beat
to
who.
get
Yeah.
better. Yeah, beat the other one. So it's I don't know. I don't know if the Mavericks can find a way to get some momentum if they can do that. I don't know if winning will every time I'll give Luca credit. I'm not a fan of him. He's just a prissy little bitch and I don't really like his play style.
Post game though.
He seems fine. He just
Yeah.
walks off. He's just like, all right.
Have you listened to
Not that
his
he doesn't
press
care.
conferences?
Yeah, he's just
They're like,
he's cool, calm, and
yeah, they're like,
collected.
what happened? He's like, I turned the ball over. I missed some shots. We lost.
Yeah.
What could you have
He
done better?
he
Well,
seems
like,
very calm, and that's what's kind of scary if you're a
well, that's my
Celtics fan. It's like
point.
because
Because
he can just put up
Tate and then
60.
Tatum wins a game. And he's like, I was nervous as fuck tonight. And I'm
Yeah,
like, what the fuck,
that
man?
something doesn't add up. Yeah.
No,
So
it's
there's always
stressing me
that. I
out.
mean, when you have Luca and you have that offensive brilliance like that, it's like there's always a chance.
Yeah,
So
because
you just
once
have
the
to hope that the
floodgates
Celtics,
open,
you just have to hope the Celtics get enough done or get far enough away from the grasp of Luca in this series as a whole where it's not going to be enough.
that's
That's
why to
all
me
you
you
can
gotta
really
win.
hope.
You gotta win Wednesday. We've been up 2-1 on the Warriors, and then Curry was like, I'm gonna catch fire, and
I
it
guess I
just
should wake up.
boom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't want to
killed
repeat of
us.
that.
It's all
And
it
if you're the
takes.
Mavs, I
You
think
have to
this is a
win.
pivotal game.
No, you have to
You
win for
have to
them too.
win. You're
So
at
for the
home. You
Celtics,
got to stop their momentum. You have to
it's
win.
a it's a step on your throat moment. Like if they
Hmm.
come out best punch, whatever, and you can somehow win that game on the road, they're like, we are clearly not the team. They're just
Yeah.
better than us,
Yeah.
with or without
Which on
Porzingis. But
paper, the Celtics should win, right? And
we should.
just the eye test for the majority of the time, you would say, yeah, the Celtics are just better.
They can't guard. I was like, the question is like, what can Dallas do to win? And I don't. It's almost like hope the Celtics screw
Screw it
up
up. Yeah.
because
Their
they
defense, like,
can't guard them. They can't
no,
guard them.
there's
There's
no
too many
one.
guys.
PJ is like, I'm PJ needs some credit because he's a
Well,
lot
he's
better than I thought
athletic.
he is.
Well, he
And
was
he
at
like he would
Kentucky for a reason.
drive to the hoop, stop and kind of do a little floater. He's long, he's
I
athletic,
think they need to do
but like
that more often, though. They need to run the offense through
you
the
guys have
others to
so
get
many defensive like guards or wings. It's
Luca.
like
No, we hunt.
Kyrie
We
cannot
hunt.
do. He's like grasping for, or he's gasping for air.
Yeah, both
He
of them
just
are.
cannot catch.
Again, think about the series though. Against Minnesota, they could hide at least one or two of those guys. Against Oklahoma City, they could hide at least one or two of them.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The Clippers you could hide. it literally, it's just like, where's Luca or where's Kyrie?
Yeah.
Let's bring them in a pick and roll and let's just go.
Yeah.
They get fucked. Or
That's
if you
the other
don't have
thing.
them, their help
They were
defense
like
is
leading the playoffs
horrible.
in lobs, and they've had like
Yeah,
two,
because we know
because you're
how to
just
play defense.
you're
We
cutting
cut
off all
that
those
off.
easy
And
Derek Lively yams, the
yes, they've had
Jones Jr.
the corner threes. They were like
Powell.
leading the league, and Washington was one of them because he loves the corner three. Have you recognized any corner threes? I think it's like two.
So, can I ask you a
They're
question?
cutting them
Max,
off.
Max, the tall guy, Max, not Struess,
Kleber,
it's Kleber.
Kleber.
Is he normally shooting threes?
Yeah,
He's
that's
chucking
his.
those up. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, buddy?
No, that he's a three.
He's a
He's a
three
three and
guy?
D. He is like,
He's
who's the
like
skinny
Brooke.
white?
He's a full five, isn't he?
No, Mac Bonner. Or is it Matt Bonner? Remember the white guy from the Spurs?
Oh,
That
he's kind of like
really
that.
tall white guy who was like, "You're a
Yeah,
big," and it's like you do not play like a big. He sits and
yeah.
just chucks threes and is
Just a
just like all day.
swing four.
Yeah,
He's so big
that's
though.
who
He
he is.
looks really tall. Is he a seven
Yeah,
footer?
I don't think he's that big. I don't think so.
But he's thick. I guess he just
Yeah, he
looks
is.
bigger because he's so, beefy. But I'm like, why is he chucking up threes?
It's Maxi Kleber. He's 6'10".
Yeah, I mean, he's up there. But yeah, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
He's
Why is he chucking
240.
up threes?
He's Lucas size. Um, I don't know. I just
Yeah.
I
I mean,
I
if I'm
game
you, I'm
three.
feeling good. I'm feeling good. There's a there's a
I'm in between. That's all
there's
I am.
a small little window open for the Mavs, and it's like
Yeah, once you crack it,
they
yeah.
really have to fucking hit it right on the head there to start breaking this thing down. But if
So to
I'm you, I'm
wrap
feeling
up,
good. What would you rather be? Down 0-2 or up 2-0?
correct. Yeah,
You
you want
know?
to
So
be in
it's
this
like you got to
position.
take it when you can.
If you had now that we know two games, what's your prediction for this for that going? We know our original predictions. What is your prediction now we're 2 games in?
I mean, I feel like I have to stay with my original one because I don't want to jump ship
It it
and then the
well,
Mavs
you
win and then
can
I'm like, oh, whoa, whoa.
it's literally how you said it would play out. So you're just gonna
Right.
stick with
I think I
the
have to.
six.
Otherwise, why would I? You can't take anything I say
I'm gonna
seriously.
move mine up. I'll move. I think we're gonna win in 5 now.
Yeah,
I
gentlemen
do.
sweep.
I think we'll
Maybe
either
you maybe lose
pull this
tomorrow
one
and then you
out
win. You gotta
tomorrow,
take
or yeah, we're
one of
gonna
them.
one of them because we're
Yeah,
a good road team, and then I think we're just gonna finish them at Boston
yeah, that'd be nice.
because you
That's how
don't
you'd
want to go
want it.
back. Yeah,
You wanna win at home. That's cooler.
correct.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you gotta feel good going in. I,
If we, oh God, I want to win so bad.
I know.
Oh fuck. Okay,
Yeah.
it'll be wild. But
Anything
all
else you
right,
want to talk about with that series?
I don't think so. I think we're good to go there.
All right. So we got a little.
Next week we'll do well, when do they play? I was just gonna see. Um,
So they play tomorrow,
they played Friday,
or they
Wednesday,
play
Friday,
Wednesday.
and then Monday would be game 5. So if it's my prediction, it'd be over by then. So we could discuss it at that point. If not, they play Thursday, Sunday. So if not
Wait,
the next pod,
Friday,
Monday.
Wednesday,
So
Friday, Monday. Game
yeah,
6
so
is Monday.
no, it's 3, 4,
Five.
5.
5 is
Game
Monday.
5 is Monday. So if it's
Okay.
either finished by next pod with my prediction or finished by the following pod, two
Right.
weeks. So we'll depending
With a
on
little
whatever, but
closer. Yeah.
yeah,
With a closer series. So,
yeah.
all right. All right. You got a game for us? Coley Wooly?
Dun, 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 dun. Game of Thrones Day, Game of Thrones Day, Game of Thrones Day.
So the second season of House of the Dragon comes out Sunday,
Correct.
right?
This is not House of Dragon, but I'm wearing my Game of Thrones shirt.
I see it.
Correct.
So Sunday night, that's episode uno. I saw it's like 65 minutes or something. It's like an hour.
Yeah, the first. First one is, I think.
Second one's like 70 minutes.
Yep.
Okay. Normally it's like
So
8 to 10 episodes. So
ish. Yeah.
yeah, it's
So
like 2 months worth.
in honor of that, has nothing to do with sports.
We're
But
drafting. That is
we're
sports related.
drafting.
This is a
I guess
sports
that is.
podcast. We have to
Because I
say,
also wanted to do one,
hey,
and I was going
true.
to ask you about this. I want to do like draft best video games or like Call of Duty games because there's some fucking good ones.
Now that
I
I'm a
thought about
now
that.
that I'm a born again gamer, yeah,
I know.
let's
When I sent you
go.
that like ranking the best ones, and you're like the top four are great. And I was like, yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
that's fun.
So we can do that later, but we're gonna draft the best Game of Thrones original series. So House of Dragon is not included because there's only one season.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be seasons 1 through 8, Game of Thrones episodes.
yeah.
How
Like
many
standing alone.
standalone episodes? How many rounds do you want to do?
Let's just do four.
Okay, 4 rounds. I have three trivia questions. If you get,
Are they Game of Thrones related?
they are Game of Thrones inspired. If you
All right,
get 2 out of 3, you can have the first pick.
cool.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Starting with the easiest.
Come on, baby.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
What is the name of Jon Snow's sword? I
Oh,
thought that would be easy.
shit. I'm not the biggest nerd of the show. When you say it, I'm gonna be like, fuck, yeah, it is.
Starts with an L.
I was gonna say Iron Claw, but that's Long
Yeah,
Claw. It's something with a
yeah,
claw,
it's
right?
Long Claw. It's
Long Claw.
Long Claw.
Okay.
Yeah.
You count that? Give me a half a
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Well, you said Iron Claw, so you're right there. Number 2. Why was Jorah Mormont exiled by Ned Stark? So, for those of you that don't know, it's tough to know, but Jorah Mormont was the right-hand man or woman, man to the woman of Daenerys.
Yeah.
And he was
I
a
remember
Mormont, which is
she
in the
kind of
north.
exiled him once she found
Correct.
something
But
out, but I don't remember
John
what it is.
John and him meet and they kind of talk about this because Jorah is like a traveler in the world and he was kind of a big name, and obviously Mormont was a big name with his dad and who you find out who his relations are. But then they're like, what did you do?
Yeah, I don't know.
He sold slaves. Do you remember that at all?
No.
He was
Do we
caught
see
selling
him doing
slaves.
that?
No, they mention
Why does
it,
he do that?
and I think
Just to get some cash?
I don't think he was actually doing it, if I'm
Or
not
he got
mistaken.
like black or
I think he was trying to free some slaves and then got caught
he
with
got
them, and it
framed
looked
for
like
it?
he was selling slaves, correct? So then
Uh,
Ned had to do that,
yeah, you can't have that as your right hand man.
correct? All right, so this is for all the marbles.
Oh boy.
What does Valar Morghulis mean?
That's
So that is
the man of
the
many faces.
many faces
That's
but
the
no
thing that he
faces.
teaches Arya.
Yeah, Valar Morghulis.
It's like their credo, isn't it?
Yep, it's 4 words.
Uh, I okay. Let me think. Let me think. I don't really know. What can I pull out of my ass?
You hear the dumbass dog that's next to me barking? Can you hear that fucking thing or
No, I
no?
can't.
Okay, good.
I don't know. Fuck, I don't know.
All men must die.
Does mom have a shirt like that?
And she has. So I thought you were gonna. This is why I thought it was
Not
a tough
today.
question.
She has the shirt that says
Yeah,
not today.
because another question is, what does Arya say to death?
Not today.
Not today.
Yeah.
Well,
Mom
that
just
makes
likes
me
it.
the
Mom
winner.
just likes it because she's like, then when I'm out running errands, people know not to talk to me or like
Oh
mess
yeah.
with me. It's like, okay, mom. Yeah. All men must die. That rings a bell, but I never would have guessed that. So, all
So
right. You
up
get the
to me
top pick.
first. I think this is between.
I think it's between two. I have two in mind. Like, and I'm hoping you don't pick.
I'm
Well, I mean, you're
picking.
gonna get one of mine, I'm sure.
I think I know what you're gonna take, but I this one is the coolest to me
All right.
and the most badass, and it's my favorite It's Beyond the Wall. So when they fight on on the lake on the little
When you find out that the dragon is, or when they pull the dragon out,
so they fight because they're literally going outside the wall or beyond the wall to bring a
a White Walker.
white well not a White Walker but a dead person, right?
Oh yeah, whatever.
Just the army of the dead individual back to for proof. And it's
Jon Snow,
John, it's
Jorah.
Jorah Mormont, it's the guy that lights the flame and his buddy.
Yeah, the dude like who's
It's
died like nine
the
times.
Hound.
Yeah.
It's what's the
The guy
redhead?
who loves the
Yeah.
tall girl.
Yeah.
The
What's
redheaded
his
dude.
name? I can't. Are we
Tormund?
serious?
Tormund?
More Tormund.
Tormund?
Tormund. So it's like you got like I
Those are
mean,
just
there's a couple
studs.
other.
That's a
It's like the
stud
best
team.
fighters in the league,
Yeah,
right?
that's fucking
Like that's
sick.
what I think of it. But they go across the wall, they get one, and then they end up getting stuck because the Night King's like, "You're fucking
Gotcha,
mine."
bitch.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
and they like
bitch.
he like caught, whatever, and
Yeah.
then the Hound chucks a rock at him. He's just chucking them, and it just doesn't break on the pond, and they just get engulfed with people. And then Daenerys
Yeah.
shows up, and you get to see all three
Yeah, like
dragons go
she
to work.
um
Fucking
who's
animal.
fucking the little guy, Peter
Yeah,
Dinklage.
Tyrion.
He's like,
Tyrion.
you shouldn't go, don't
Don't
go, you're
go,
the
don't
queen, you
go.
can't
Yeah.
do this.
And
And
she's like,
he
we
snipes
need
her out
to.
of the air. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fucking sick.
He literally Kobe's
I
it.
couldn't remember which one that is, and I've got like a list up here, like
It's
just by
six,
like
season
IMDb.
6. Yep.
That's
He
season
Kobe's it.
six.
Yep.
Season six was good.
It is because he Kobe's the dragon, and then in that episode, they pull the fucking dragon out of the lake or whatever it is,
And
and and
his
it ends
eyes
with his
open.
eye go
Oh,
blue. Like that's fucking
yeah,
badass.
that one was
I
so. And then you're like, fuck, here
Yeah,
we
you're like, oh my
go.
god, the fuck.
They have a
Like so
dragon now.
that's why I pick it number one because I've rewatched that scene before. I
Yeah.
like it was that good for me that I rewatched it.
But then that make now I'm just thinking of this. Don't you have to be? You don't have to be, but oh, do you? Don't you have to be Targaryen to ride a dragon? Or did
Yeah,
all those rules go out the door once it's undead? He just controls anything that's undead.
yeah, because
I think
it's
that's the argument. It
correct.
doesn't matter. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great pick. That was gonna be on my list. I just didn't know the name of it, so you're gonna have to help me with that. So
Well, I had
now,
Battle of the Lake on, and then I looked that up, and they're like,
yeah.
no, it's Beyond the Wall, and I was like, okay, well, whatever.
So my
I
first
think
pick
this
is
one's pretty
my
easy.
probably my favorite episode. I don't think I'm gonna pick the one that you are. Well, maybe not. I'm picking Hard Home.
Oh, this is top three.
I know. That is why
Oh, come on.
it's like the first time that you really get to see the White Walkers in action. And like when it's like Jon Snow going like, oh, fuck, we
Like
have a problem.
that's when it
Nothing
clicked in his
else
head.
matters right now.
Yeah,
This is the
nothing
biggest
else
problem right now.
matters. That's
Yeah.
when he becomes,
That's
you
why
don't know what I've seen. You
you
don't
like
know.
the tide changes and I'm getting goosebumps thinking of it. I
I
gotta,
Liam, I have
it's
goosies right
so
now. It's
fun. It's
crazy.
so good. And then they're like, they got to learn now, like his whole that like turns his focus to like, okay,
He
what
doesn't
can
give a
kill
shit
them?
about
How do
anything.
we
Yeah.
fire Dragonstone and Valerian Steel? This is the only stuff that can kill him, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
because
blah.
when his sword
He's
meets and
like,
he's like, and
oh,
the White
all
Walker's like,
right.
wait, what? And
Shit.
he's like,
Yeah.
John gets a little badass there, and the big
Yeah.
fucking giant is badass, and
Yeah.
like, and the
That's my
people,
favorite episode because he just goes, so you think it's badass to begin with, and then you're like, oh wait, everyone who just died is now on his team. Fuck, it's just like
I'll admit
an
it,
unstoppable force.
it's when I
It's my
fell in
favorite episode
love
with Jon
with
Snow.
no, the Night King. I fucking love the
Yeah, that's
Night
right.
King.
You were
I,
rooting for him to win in
I
the
wanted
end.
him to win so bad. It was
That's how
so
it
Game
should
of
have
Thrones.
ended, though, shouldn't
It
it?
should have,
It should
because
have.
he
The bad guy
was
should have won.
to do
That would have
this
been the
and watch
ultimate
that girl
ending
with
to
her
that show because
kid just
people
go
would have been
like,
like, "What the fuck? How do you let the bad guy win?" This show, it's the craziest show. Like this
it would have
revolutionized
fit.
shows.
It would have fit.
Ned Stark dies. The main character dies in the first series. You're like, or the first season. You're like, what the fuck?
Head cut off.
All
Yeah.
these fucking. I'm sure an episode that will come up here shortly. You're like, all
There's
of our
so
favorite
much
characters are
death.
dying. You're like, what the fuck? That would have been the
John,
ultimate
yeah,
thing. It's like,
like that's
fuck you guys. You're never gonna guess what happens. This show is so crazy. It's so great. White Walker should have won. I totally
so
agree.
that's
It's
I
my first
love
pick.
Jon Snow because of it. But when the Night King is just standing there watching this
He's not
all, and
even
then
doing anything.
he
Yeah.
doesn't do anything, and then that's why I picked my episode, because you see him finally do something, and it's like, oh my
Yeah.
God, is he just the man?
That's the only
Like,
thing he ever does, though. He never fights John, does he?
no, they
No.
never go
He
hand to
always just
hand.
like
He
raises people and
wants
then they try
to
to do it. Yeah. He
because he has
never,
a
the only thing you
bigger
ever see him
goal.
doing is walking, riding a horse, and sniping a dragon out of the air.
Yeah,
That's it.
he's killed some, like, but he, we'll get to that. But like
Yeah.
the whole, but it made me fall in love with him. I was like this dude's the man, and his just
This is stone cold, literally.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I
That's my
definitely
number one.
that was my third pick if I would have
Third.
had one. Yeah,
Damn.
one, two. This was
Oh, okay.
my third option.
Not third
I'm
on your
going. I'm
list.
going. My number two is Battle of the Bastards.
Ooh, so I'm gonna get my top two.
That fucking episode
That is good.
is
I don't
awesome.
remember that one as much. The scene
Oh,
where he's just alone there with all the dudes fucking coming at him.
that is insane. But before is what gets me going. When they
Yeah,
meet
because
and he goes, "Yes, bastard. What do you want to do? Bastard." And he's calling John a bastard.
when
And
he
I'm like,
literally is, yeah.
and he's like, "Let's just go one on one, you little fucking prick." And he's like, I don't think so. And he throws the direwolf's head, and Sansa runs off, and he's like, "Can't wait for your sister to be in my bed tonight," or you know what I mean?
Oh
And he's like,
man.
I'm just getting
He played a
angry.
good bad
It's
guy.
the greatest death too, because then John
Yeah.
just totally gets swallowed in that, and you're like, and fucking don't
Yeah.
run this way,
Yeah. I
Rickon.
forget what his name is.
Fucking
Yeah. He's
Rickon, or
like, dude,
whatever.
fucking
Just
zigzag,
straight.
motherfucker.
Yeah. Serpentine,
Yeah. What are
serpentine.
you
No
doing?
serpentine. Just gets smashed. So you're like, fuck me. And then he falls back and the giant breaks through. And then John just beats the living shit out of him. Just the amount of punches. I was like, oh my God.
He
He's
keeps
just
going.
taking it.
Yeah.
And then he gets eaten by his own dogs to end it all by
Poetic.
Sansa.
Poetic.
It's an awesome battle. It's
Yeah.
the only thing that bugs me is fucking Sansa has to bring in Littlefinger to come in to help save with his Knights of the Vale or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what turns the tide there.
But
But
that's good. It's good writing though, because it's like, oh, I hate how bitter that is because you know it's gonna come back to he's gonna use
yes,
that against her later. Like, yeah, he's a good character. He's a well written character. The reason he lasts so long too. All right,
correct.
that's a great pick. Great pick.
That is my number two. Go ahead.
Well, shit. Now the
Board is
yeah,
open.
I think I have to do this one because I remember I'm doing Reigns of Castamere, aka the Red Wedding.
Yeah.
I remember Alexa, our sister, watched this whole series or was like caught up with it before I was. I didn't start until like the fourth season was already out, and I was watch and she was like just like she did a great job. She never spoiled anything for me, and I like stayed away from anything,
Yeah, I knew
you
because
know.
of this.
And she's like,
I
"So
knew
where are
because of
you?
this.
Where are you?" She knew like I'm on season three. She's like, "Okay, what episode?" She kind of knew. And she knew I was gonna watch this episode this night. And I come running downstairs like, "What the fuck?" Because I loved Rob Stark. He was my
He
favorite
was
character.
John before
He was
John.
right, like he was the stoic, you know, the next
Wolf.
in line, like the next Rob or what's the Ned Stark. And the mom, him, his beautiful
When they
wife, who I
stab the
loved,
baby,
the
yeah, like,
baby. It's
oh
like, oh
God.
my God.
Tywin Lannister sends his regards. I was like,
Yeah,
you're fucking,
my
oh,
my jaw was on the floor.
Yeah, and it had to be
Unreal.
that prick from Harry Potter, Walder Frey. The
Yeah.
oh my ugly children,
And he like
but like
smacks
he,
the waitress's ass
yeah,
as she
he's
walks away.
so
Just a fucking
nasty too. I was
asshole.
like, fuck him.
Yeah. It's
I
just
that's
not the most, I don't really remember anything else besides that one,
well,
but that
what the
moment
other?
was enough, to like
Oh
just
yeah,
put this one as unreal. Like it wasn't a big like battle scene if I
Arya
remember.
shows up and they killed the direwolf out in the
Yeah.
cage. That's
Yeah.
sad. And Arya's like, you're like, oh my God, she's finally gonna get to Rob. Like, we have a Stark reunion down the hill. Like,
Right.
it's that one's tough. When Paige watched that, when it was going on, she's like, why'd the music change? She's like, something's happening. She's like,
Yeah.
I don't like this. And all of a sudden, she's like, oh my God, what? I knew
Yeah.
it. I knew it.
The way they
It's sad.
sneak that shit in where it's just
Yeah.
Lady Stark and then
Well,
slits
yeah,
her
because
throat.
she like looks at his sleeve and he's got like um armor on underneath his outfit, and she's like,
Wait, why does he have that?
Rob,
Yeah.
Rob, like why would he have armor on right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah, that's tough,
Good one.
man. All because he
Um,
wouldn't marry his own daughter.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that's two for me then. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm gonna go Dragon and the Wolf.
Which one is that?
Season 7 finale. Season
Okay.
7 finale consists of Dragon and the Wolf, the meeting where they bring the um
Oh
White
yeah, when
Walker or
everyone just
the
meets.
dead, and they show up and they do the whole like whatever, and Daenerys shows up with her dragon, and Cersei's a cunt and it's like, I'm not gonna help you, and then she said she's gonna help you, and then she
Yeah.
ends up not helping you, and we get the whole like, well, pledge to me or let the king in the north stay, and he's like, I already pledged, and Tyrion's like, what the fuck, man, we had this whole thing set up and now I gotta go talk, and he finds out she's pregnant, whatever. But then don't forget about these moments. We kill back in the north. Littlefinger gets his throat slashed.
Hell yeah.
Slut. He gets killed
Gets
because
it
he's trying to
slut.
play his game between Arya and Sansa. So that happens in that episode because you're like, oh my God, they're gonna kill. They're putting, and then she's like, what do you have to say, Peter Baelish? And he's like, wait, whoa, what the fuck, me? And then the last thing you find out in that episode is the three-eyed raven, if you want to call him that, dumb fuck,
Oh,
finds out that John is
is a
the actual
Targaryen.
kid and is a Targaryen.
Yeah.
So we ended season 7
Like
going into 8
fuck.
like this is the greatest thing that's ever happened. Like,
Can't wait for 8. It's gonna be so
can't
good.
wait for 8. He's the hero, he's the actual king, our all
Yeah.
favorite character. I think it's just a great episode. You found out so much. It was a great way to end that series, season 7 season. I loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's my pick.
That's a good one. That's a sneaky one because like you see, I know those moments, but I didn't know they all happened in that episode.
They do. Yes.
Yeah.
That's why, you know,
So one that I forgot about that I really liked, and I think I'm gonna pick because I mean, there's a lot of we're gonna have a couple
we
of
can do honorable mentions.
honorables. But I don't know if you remember this one. I'm gonna do shit. Where was it? No, no, no.
I'm going to do one that's a little off.
The Watchers of the
The
Wall,
Wall.
season 4, episode 9,
That is the
where he
um
fights. It's
Egret, right?
Ygritte dies, so
Yeah,
there's like
she
some
it's his
emotion
love.
there because that was
Yeah,
his
he
first
fights
love,
the
first girl he boned. Um, but they fight the
wildlings
wildlings, yeah, and it's a
and they
nonstop,
win.
just crazy battle. There's a
That is a
fucking
good one.
mammoth in there. There's
Yeah, that's a
giants in there.
sick.
You're like, holy shit,
Yes.
what is all this stuff? Um, John really his leadership kind of blooms in this episode because he has to direct all these people that he's working with, and they're fighting an unknown army. He also has to battle through, losing the woman he loved. So that was a pretty good one. I think the mammoths and the
It is a
giants
good
are
one.
fucking sick. And the
I
Night
had that on
Watch
my
stuff, yeah.
I had that on my list. I forgot to mention one more thing that was badass about the dragon and the wolf. The Night King tears down the wall, That's when you're sitting up there on the
Mm.
top of the wall, and they're like,
Like, well, great.
yeah, and they're like, what the fuck is that? And he just goes and comes through and
Yeah.
just starts peeling on it. And Tormund's like, get the fuck out of here. And he
Yeah.
just breaks it down. And then you see the dragon for the first time. You're like, oh, Jesus Christ. Anyways, my
Yeah.
last pick, I'm gonna take one that's a little it's more of the one moment. I don't remember the entire um
I haven't. Yeah. I have one. I
thing.
have one like that for my last pick too.
It's
It's
the
gonna be one or the
spoils
other.
of war.
Oh.
So Arya arrives at Winterfell, so you get a little like it's season 7, episode 4. You get a little reunion, but it's the episode where Jamie and Bronn are like moving their resources, and they're like holding line, and all of a sudden the Dothraki show up, and they're like, "Oh God, we gotta fight!" And
Yeah.
then Daenerys comes down, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh Christ!" And you
And then
see
you
that
see the
in battle for
power
the
of a
first time,
dragon for the
yeah.
first time. Yeah.
And that's when Jamie goes back, he's like, "We got no fucking chance. Like we got no chance." So
Yeah.
when he found out that she didn't want to actually commit the troops, he's like, "Do you not understand? We're gonna get railed." She's got 3 of those things.
Yeah.
We're gonna get screwed. And
Yeah.
she doesn't. But that gave me goosebumps because the Dothraki are on the top
And
of
he
their
was right
horses and
because when it comes down to it in season 8, she does just mow him down when she gets
with
to King's
one
Landing with
dragon.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the other ones are gone. And it's nuts, but Drogon is the fucking man. And he just kills
Yeah,
all
because
the
the one got sniped out of the air, and then the other one got sniped by
one
the
of her arrows or whatever.
the
Yeah, one of
guy
her
who the
things.
best friend of Jamie. Remember? Or no, no, no.
Yeah. No, no, it's Greyjoy. He was on the they're on the
Yeah,
and they're just
on
like
the ship.
traveling and they're just
You're
waiting
like,
for him and
oh
he just
yeah,
goes
here comes one comes out
dead.
of the air.
Yeah.
Vroom.
In like 3 seconds. You're like,
So
did
she
we just lose
loses
another
two of them, and
dragon?
then she still owned them with one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
against all of those platforms that she had on that. That was one I thought about too, because they cut her what's her face's head, and then the next episode she just rains down everyone. But it's just pretty much her just killing everybody, which is just brutal. But yeah, I want the one where she comes over the mountaintop and just totally just. And I watched like the
yeah,
behind the scenes how they did that, and it was actually really cool. So that's my pick.
that's a good one. So I'm between two here.
Which ones?
Since you're done, I can kind of go through
Yeah,
them. The Mountain and the Viper.
that was next on my list.
That's an
I just
intense
watched
one.
that the
I
other
don't really know
day.
what else happens in that one besides that fight, but I mean that fight alone could be enough to just get it on here.
It's awesome.
Um, and his face gets smashed in. It's fucking nuts.
He just
It's
pops his
either that
head.
or the door
I have the door next, or the winds of winter. Those are
because
my next two.
it's very like you
Hold
learn
up,
something
hold
about, and we
up,
all love
hold up. And it's
Hodor,
so
and you're
sad.
learning a lot about the Night King and the Three-Eyed Raven shit. Um, yeah, I mean that's a really good one too. The origin of the White Walkers is in that one, so I might just do that one because that's a pretty. I love when you get to those episodes where you're like, oh, what does this mean? What is this? And then they just, okay, we'll give you a little bit here. We'll give you a bunch of information to start explaining some of this shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, honorable mention, I will say right after that would be Mountain and the Viper, um, Blackwater. That's a good one.
Battle of Blackwater Bay.
I don't really remember that one, but
That's Tyrion and them
where the
against.
green fucking fire and shit.
Well, so I was gonna. Well,
Tyrion against
I it's
um
Stannis against
the
Stannis
Stannis,
Baratheon.
yeah,
Yeah,
Stannis's
that was
army.
a good one. I was gonna take Winds of Winter, which is season 6 finale. That's when Daenerys shows up to her home or whatever that she ends up staying at the whole time, the Targaryen island or whatever the fuck. But that's when Tommen just walks out the window. He just
Oh yeah.
takes off,
Nyeh.
and Cersei blows up the
Blows up the
entire,
citadel or whatever the fuck
yeah,
it
the
is.
shame people, and then
Yeah.
Jon becomes king in the north. Like that's such a bad king of the north, and he just, I
Yeah.
don't want to be a king, and they elect him to
Or when
king,
he
and
dies and then comes back to life. Which one is that?
that's in 5. That's a good one too. That was tough. I knew that happened as well, so that was kind of not as big for me, just because when I started watching it, I think we were waiting for 7 to come out, so it was like inevitable to hear about Jon Snow dying and coming back to life.
Yeah. I
Did you
think
have anything from 8?
no.
I was thinking, I was like, did I like a single episode? And I was
Yeah.
like, when she
I mean,
rains down, I'm like,
the
okay.
Dark Knight or
The
whatever,
long
the
night,
Long
the
Night,
battle
that
was
was
interesting, but
good. That's probably the best one.
it
But
was, but the moment there was, it
Arya
could have been
killing him at
better.
the end was like, oh God, roll my eyes. This
And
gay shit.
like you said, fucking nobody
That's,
died except Jorah and the fucking red lady. He didn't even fight. John didn't even fight what's his face. They did a
yeah.
little dragon battle up there, but like I don't
They
know.
set it up like the second, that was the third episode, right? The first episode got you ramped up. Second episode, nothing happened. Arya got laid
They were
finally.
waiting for,
And
yeah,
then they were just like, okay, it's coming, it's coming. We're like, oh, are we gonna get it? No. So they like set it up as this sick battle. And
yeah.
it was entertaining, but it was just like, that's what they
To
set us
this
up
day,
for?
I think they should have lost it, retreated, either took out Cersei or went with her and then lost again. Like that's what I think should have happened. You
Hmm.
can't end the Night King there when we literally have built this for 8
For eight
seasons on
seasons.
what
Yeah,
this
just for
is. And I
them
know we're
to
building like
die in
who's
in the first
who's the
full
leader.
battle one on one.
Correct. Like
It was
come
never
on.
fair battles. It was always like John was retreating, just had to survive, get out of there at Hardhome.
Yeah.
Then it
Or
was,
get that fight. That should have been a fight. Had to have. And I wish, or they could have just been like, you know what, fuck Cersei. Let's go take Cersei out and wait for the Night King to make it all the way down south. Like, let's just do that. And they made a mistake. There's too many people, whatever. But like,
yeah.
not, I don't know. Yeah, don't even get me started. It's my favorite show of all time that just got ruined.
Hmm.
But like, as you can see, 6 and 7, great seasons.
Five, four,
Five, six,
five, six, and
seven,
seven were just great. One,
wild.
two, and three were still, I mean,
Good.
very
Ned
good.
Stark dying at the end of 1. I was like, what the
I don't
fuck,
remember
man?
one very much. I know Cal Drogo's in there, like
Yep, he
um
kills what's her face's
Jamie gets
brother.
his hand cut off. The golden crown was pretty cool. With Daenerys's annoying
Yeah, the only
fucking
thing that
brother.
really lost me is the when Arya goes with the Valar Morghulis people and she gets
Yeah,
so like deep into that to become
yeah,
what she was, and I'm like, okay, whatever, but like it took way too long. I do
yeah.
not need,
I remember feeling like this is kind of dumb.
yeah. And they needed something for her because she was like traveling with the Hound for like 10 years. Every destination she'd show up to, someone would die or they'd be like, oh, gotta turn around. And I'm like,
Yeah,
why can't we just find somewhere for these fucking
yeah,
people? Like, Christ, that
yeah.
was tough. Otherwise, it's a
It's
great
it's
show.
just like, yeah. I mean, it's so hard to end shows.
I was
Greatest
gonna
shows of all
do,
time, Sopranos, like that just turns to black, and you're like, people argue that that's not a very good ending. I mean, you can go to a comedy like Seinfeld. It's like that was kind of stupid.
it's
The
tough.
Good Samaritan shit. It's like that's kind of dumb. How do
I
you
was
end
gonna do
an amazing show? It's hard.
a draft on the characters, but I thought that would be a little too easy because worst characters, we all know who we hate. And best characters, we all know who we like. So I thought episodes would be the easiest.
Yeah, no, that's a fun game, and it gets me back into the mood, which is probably exactly what you were trying to do. So
Yeah,
we
I'm looking
started
forward to it.
rewatching the first season of House of the Dragon, and I remember like the basic plot line, but watching it over again, I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, it makes it better because
I
you like
probably
I
should
know the
rewatch
plot,
it.
but then it's only like 6 episodes or 8 episodes. It's easy. You could still do it by the time you could get it done
I
before
watched
the
some
next
clips. I just
season
watched
starts.
him cut his head off, and I watched her like go at what's her face because her kid got her eye
Yeah.
taken, and then I
There's
watched
a lot
the
less like
dragon eat the other
big
kid.
battles and like fights and stuff. It's a little more political of a season,
And the dad,
but
the king, just gets so like,
yeah, he's a pussy.
who's saying these lies about my grand? He's got
Yeah.
fucking black hair, man,
Yeah.
and everyone else has blonde. And
Yeah.
he's like 4'2".
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
It reminds
And
me
he
of our
becomes like,
president right now.
no, yeah, he
Just
doesn't know what's
fucking,
going on.
he's no idea. Just
Wild.
wilting away. In the
I just
first
like,
episode, they're peeling the shit off of his back because they're like,
yeah,
oh, we look in the books at the Citadel and there's nothing about this one. We might have to boil them off. And he's like, do
yeah.
it. It's gonna hurt.
I just like Damon
Yeah, he's
and
a
how like
badass.
badass he is
I
towards the
love,
kids and the other knights and stuff. He
I
doesn't
don't
give a
remember who
fuck.
they're talking about, but they're like, what what about her? He's like, she's a cunt. He just doesn't care in front of like all the high ups. He's just like, she's a cunt. He does not give a fuck.
I know.
And
I know.
he's
I
like,
thought I was
the
gonna
first
hate him
time
too in
him
the
and
beginning.
Rhaenyra, who's like 15,
Yeah, they go
see each
at
it,
it.
he's just like, I brought you a
Yeah.
gift. Here's a little necklace. He's like fucking what do they call that? Priming her or
I was gonna say
um
pedophilia.
yeah, I mean he's like grooming her. He's grooming her from it's like, dude,
You
that's your
said
fucking
you
niece.
said priming
Oh
her.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is. It's so
What
fucking
does
it's
she
like when you
paint?
really
We're
think
gonna
of it,
prime the walls.
well, you're priming her for what's to come later. That works. Fuck you, it works. It's so
Prime.
it's a
I'm gonna
good show
prime
though.
you tonight.
I don't really
Yeah,
remember
man.
the crab, this whole shit about the crab guy. Like they're
Yeah,
talking
the
about that in the
black
first
dude.
one. And then when
Well, they're
Damon
trying to
goes
get
over
that
there and he just
island.
owns ass over there. I don't really
Yeah.
remember about that. So hopefully the
He's
second time I'll be able
priming and
to.
he's owning
Yeah.
ass.
Priming her. Priming his niece for
It's
what's to
not
come.
like a fucking you prime like a fucking lawnmower. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
but
you
it makes
prime
sense, doesn't it? You prime her, you're getting her ready, you're grooming
no,
her,
I guess. Yeah,
you're
you
like trying to
prime
get
like
her to where she
when
needs
you
where you
prime a
want her to
lawnmower,
go.
you're like injecting the whatever
Yeah, you're
into it
getting
so
it
it starts it
ready.
up.
It
Yeah.
works.
I think the
The delivery was
original,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
this is my delivery.
Man.
Yeah, watch it. It's good.
All right.
That was fun. All right. Can the Celtics do it? Can the Mavs pull it off?
No.
We shall find out.
Celtics
Maybe
in
on the
five.
next episode of the Wisco Wisties.
Also, boys Sunday as well. Shout out
Oh,
to another show.
fuck yeah, baby. Let's
2
go.
seasons left. Yep.
Talking about Prime.
Yeah.
Amazon
Jesus.
Prime. All right, that's
Okay.
enough. Goodbye.
Yep.